This is my review on the Mac Mini M4 Pro and my first thoughts, what I think of the computer, everything like that, all in this video. Check it out. Okay, so one of the things I love about this computer is how small it is. It's super quiet and it just kind of sits on your desk and does nothing. It's perfect. It doesn't take up much real estate on your desk either. I think it's simple to unbox. I think you guys have seen the clips now. You take it out and it's just the Mac and a power cord. So you definitely have to put the price together when including the Mac keyboard and mouse if you're going to buy that, additionally with the screen. So definitely keep that in mind when you're going to purchase this computer. What I don't like is the power button spot, which I know everybody already knows about that, and that's fine. But I keep it on the right side of my monitor, which means I have to lift it up to turn the power button on. So it's super inconvenient. I don't know why it's not on the front or in the center of the middle or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they think you're going to keep it in sleep mode. Personally, that doesn't work for mine, and I'm not sure why, but whenever it wakes up, it's significantly slower. I actually Googled what was wrong with my Mac and why it was kind of like lagging behind and such, and that was the answer. I restarted and everything turned out great. So I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. Okay, when it comes to using macOS, I like it. I think it's fine. I'm still getting used to it because I've been using Windows for 14 years, I think, or something like that. I did have a MacBook during college, but that was just simply to type on Word and stuff like that. So it's different, and I'm not sure exactly what I like about it, but I do like it. I think one of the best things about it is that it's so simple, and there's not much to do. You know, you get a lot of great starter apps with it, like iMovie, which I don't personally use, but I have used in the past, and I know it's a great software. Other things are it's simple to use as long as you have a keyboard or a mouse that also functions with the OS. I feel like if you didn't have the Mac keyboard and the Mac mouse, then it would kind of be difficult to navigate around the computer, especially when it comes to where all the, I don't even know the name for it, but where all the tabs and windows kind of like expand outward and you kind of pick which one that you were using. I think that's useful, but also I feel like compared to Windows, I kind of lose some of my Windows in comparison to when using Windows operating system. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I feel like if you're transferring a file or something like that, if you click away, things lost unless you bring up all the tabs and you look through them to see where it went. So that's definitely one thing to look at. Another thing, I love that the Mac operating system doesn't allow many programs. So that was actually one of the main reasons I swapped to Mac, is that you can't game as much, right? So that was like a big thing on Steam. I'll probably be able to show a clip here where there's just like I have like 1/5 of my Steam library that I'm able to download. In some of the games I've tried downloading, like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, I downloaded it and it said my Mac computer was too new. So I don't even know if all those work, even though they're able to be downloaded on the Mac operating system. But I think it increases productivity for that reason. I don't have to think about it because I'm just going to be able to use my computer for work-oriented tasks and, you know, browsing, video editing, a lot of photo editing. And I really enjoy that for that reason. Something else that I didn't realize Mac supports is actually, Apple support. The first day, or I think the first week, within the first week, I got an email from them saying, like, contact us and we'll help you get your computer set up. I didn't really need that email, but I decided I'll kind of hear what they have to say. I'm going to join one of the sessions, right? So I click an email in the link of their email. I'm immediately started dialing Apple support. I get an answer within 2 to 3 minutes, I think. They are able to watch me share my screen. There's a thing that pops up allowing Apple support specifically to gain permission. So she had a pointer and she kind of showed me some new things like Stage Manager, which I think could be useful. Personally, I don't think it is. It's fine. I'll have to try it out more to really form an opinion on it. Additionally, she showed me how to split screens, which I didn't know about at all, where you can kind of put, 2 to 3 to 4 things on the screen at the same time, and you don't have to measure it yourself. You can just click, hover over the green arrow on Mac, and you'd be able to choose which quadrant it goes into. And I think that's useful. I think personally it's better to do the desktops, multiple desktops, and then you can kind of just swap back and forth quickly. Like if you have an editing desktop while you're looking at photos or videos on the other, I think that works better for me personally. But it's still neat that it has that. I also think it could help people kind of organize what's going on their screen, because like I said earlier with certain windows, they kind of get lost on the operating system, in my opinion. Okay, so another thing I wasn't expecting is that the Mac Mini actually has speakers. I didn't know that. I didn't watch an in-depth guide on kind of the outside of the computer, just how it kind of functions in editing softwares. And the speakers are actually very good for what they are, right, and the price that you pay for them. But I think they're pretty good. They're actually a lot better than my Asus monitors speakers, which is kind of surprising to me. Of course, I personally use headphones, but if you just want to, relax and watch a YouTube video or something like that, you can swap to it quickly, and I think they actually sound pretty good. Okay, so like I've mentioned earlier, one of the best things about this Mac is that it has almost no softwares except for kind of editing. You can game like we talked about, but pretty limited. So I do enjoy editing. I use DaVinci Resolve, Lightroom, Photoshop, and that's about it at this moment. I personally love all of those softwares. I think they run great as far as I can tell. I don't do advanced video work where I'm having, 10 to 15 streams. Actually, this video is probably going to be the most advanced I've ever made in the software. I do create shorts on a daily basis and use DaVinci Resolve. No problems at all. I notice initially when you're importing, it almost takes a second. You get the little rainbow wheel. But then after that, kind of moving through the timeline, I've never noticed an issue. Actually, it might have been faster than the Windows computer that I was using prior. The render time is seconds, really. But of course, my videos aren't long, so that's probably part of it. I'll have to maybe put in the software or something like that, how long it takes me to render this video out in full. But everything moves smooth. Photo editing is great. I don't notice any delays in Lightroom when editing photos at all or exporting them. So everything works great. I'm going to continue to use it for editing, so I'll have a better review on that in the future. It's probably the fastest computer I've used when it comes to editing. I think on my last computer I had an i5, which had a 6-core processor. So this is a lot faster, I think. Okay, and now a fun topic, of course, is gaming on the Mac. Like I've talked about, there's not a lot of games available, but what I have played, like Balloon Tower Defense, which you can run on your iPhone, of course, and it runs great. Of course, the classic is playing Minecraft. Whenever you download a computer, that's one of the top 10 things you have to download, right? So I downloaded it. It runs fine. It is in 4K. As far as I can tell, as long as you don't have the render distance all the way up, you can run sufficient frames. They're usually around 200 or so like that, with everything else maxed out except for the frame rate, of course, except for the render distance. And actually, when talking about gaming, the only time I've heard the fan start up is when I was in spectator mode underground in Minecraft, just going through all the caves. I should have a video of it playing right now, and you can actually hear the fan kind of spool up, right? And that's the only time I've heard it while using it. It's the only time I've actually heard this computer make a noise. Good for simple gaming. I'll have to try other things, maybe like Rocket League and stuff like that. No problem at all. I think it's good for gaming, especially at the price point. I wouldn't expect it to play Call of Duty. You're not playing Warzone, you're not playing PUBG or anything like that. But for what it is, I think it's great, simple, and as long as you know what games you can play, then you should be fine when using a Mac. All right, we have to get down to some pet peeves or things I dislike about the Mac. The first thing is that the 4K monitor I have, which is the Asus Pro Art, isn't scaled properly. So whenever you go into settings, and I realized this actually a couple days after using it because I didn't pay much attention, when I change it to 4K, everything becomes really small. It's unusable while it's scaled like that, and I'm not sure why Apple can't just create a solution to that. I've even reached out to Apple support to try and see if there's something that, like a workaround or something like that. And they said it's an expected result while using the Mac Mini, that you're going to not be able to render the 4K UI properly. So that's interesting. I don't like that. So the monitor still is in 4K, and you can tell by like the display settings when playing Minecraft, it knows it's displayed in 4K based on the pixel count. So the monitor is still running in 4K, but the UI is running in 1080p. So I think I messed up. I think you're supposed to get a 5K monitor, and that's why the Apple Studio display is 5K. That's what they told me. So it looks like 4K doesn't work great. It's not bad. Everything I can tell is fine. It's still okay running in 1080p. But my main complaint to them was how the mouse moves. It looks like it kind of like skips around. And they didn't have a solution for that. I talked to maybe like 2 or 3 people at Apple support trying to fix that. The only time it looks normal is when the monitor is in 4K and the UI is in 4K. So I don't really understand what's happening with that. I wish there was a solution. I've looked on, the internet, Reddit, everything like that, and I couldn't find an answer. Maybe if one of you guys have an answer, you could leave it in the comment section below. I'm not sure. Okay, so another thing is the microphone. So right here I have my microphone. If the computer falls asleep and I turn it back on, it doesn't work. And I'm not sure why that's a thing. And it, of course, asked me to change the audio. Like, do you want to swap to your monitors? Normally the first question whenever it wakes back up. I don't know if I'm missing something when it comes to the operating system or something like that. So I either have to unplug the microphone and plug it back in, or I just have to restart the Mac overall. I don't know why that's a thing. Maybe there's a simple fix to it. I haven't looked too in-depth into it, but it's super annoying when I join like Discord or something, and then I realize my microphone's not working, and there shouldn't be a reason for that. Okay, so I remember whenever we had, on our iPhones, and we lost the 3.5 jack, right? So I kind of wish the Mac Mini would drop it from the front. I think it's a weird placement for it, I guess, depending on how your desk is set up, but if it was behind, I think it would actually look better. Number one on the front, and I would personally prefer that the cord doesn't start in the center of my desk and I have to run it off to the side, or you have to run it down behind. So I wish it was on the back at this point, personally. And also they're static, and I don't know why. It's not my headset, because I've used it on multiple systems and there's never been an issue, but there's just like a static. If I'm not listening to something or watching a video, I'll listen and I'll kind of hear like some static going on. I don't know why. Maybe there's a solution to that too. I checked. I, of course, unplugged it from both ends, plugged it back in. I'm not sure what's going on there either, but normally, like I said, I'll use the Mac Mini speakers instead of the headset at that time. So it's not the worst ever, but I have noticed it multiple times at this point. All right, thank you guys for watching this Mac Mini M4 Pro review. I should have more videos coming in the future about things on the Mac. It's great. I love the computer. I love the operating system at this time. I'm not sure if it's my mouse or something like that, but other than that, everything else runs smooth. I'll probably look into a new mouse. I don't think the Apple mouse is good, so I'm not going to look in that direction. But I love this computer. I love how simple it is, the operating system. Everything just moves really smoothly on the Mac. I love it. I love editing on it. I love talking to my friends, editing videos, everything like that. So everything runs great. I'll have more videos out in the future on specific topics when it comes to this, like its performance and so on. But thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Thank you.